SWU Nation to the Compass, a show where we discuss today's world from a Christian perspective. I'm Sarvesh Maria.
And I'm Isabel Montes. Today we'll be talking about sports here at SWU. Let's get into it. So Vesh, one thing that hasn't been talked about much this year is the removal of the tennis and golf team. Seeing as how I used to be on the golf team and you used to be on the tennis team, how do you feel about how everything went down?
I think the decision was taken in a rush. I think it wasn't very well planned because coming out of COVID, totally different situation. Everybody was excited, pumped to come back on the team, play for the college because the experience is just different. Playing alone is different, but for a team, having teammates supporting you is just totally different. I mean, you've been there, totally different feeling. So everyone was excited, but a month before semester started, I think it wasn't even a month, 20 days, they gave shooters a text, oh, team is getting cut. Everybody was shocked at first, but then a few days later they called a meeting, and it wasn't even a discussion. It was a straight decision on our face that, hey, your team is getting cut. And being a senior on my team, having that leadership role, I see my teammates crying because, I mean, look at this. They don't know where they want to go or what they want to do in the moment. So now my question to you is, because my team, it was all international students except one or two. Do you think that became the reason why they cut the tennis team?
That's something I never really thought about before. For the golf team, it wasn't a lot of there weren't any for the women's, there were a couple for the men. Never really thought about that, but it's heartbreaking to think that those international students had to think about what they were going to do next a lot sooner than they had to. I don't know if it necessarily had to do with them being international or not, but I think how they handled the situation in general just wasn't very well. I agree with you. I mean, we didn't even get a text. We found out at the meeting, and
Wow.
It was heartbreaking. We felt helpless. I feel as though a lot of us thought if we knew about it earlier, we felt like we could have helped. Another thing I don't really agree with what they've been doing is I feel as though they're kind of just sweeping it under the rug and not really owning up to their decisions. And that makes me not feel like a respected athlete at this school. I mean, I came to SWU for golf. That was why I was here. And due to an injury and not being able to transfer, I had to cut my competitive golf career short. And that was heartbreaking. And it was heartbreaking to think of all the other people that had to make decisions on whether or not they were going to stay, leave. I mean, that's something we shouldn't be thinking about. So.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I know some of my teammates, very generous parents of them. They were like, okay, we can donate money and we can help. They asked their relatives to donate money. And I think some of the parents got a lot of money to donate. But I don't know, the school just decided, no, we're just gonna discontinue. So
that was a really helpless feeling for all of us. And it's sad that we had to go through that. But all in all, I think they could have handled the situation a lot better. And I feel bad for the athletes that were put in the position they were. But there's nothing we can do now.
Yeah.
Amik Bath came to SWU to play tennis in 2020. After the team was cut, she transferred to Radford University to continue playing tennis. I spoke to her about her transition from SWU to Radford. Let's take a look. Hey guys, we're here today with Amik Bath. How are you doing today, Amik?
Hello, I'm doing great actually.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So I am Ameek and I'm actually from India. I came to the US in 2021 spring because I wanted to pursue my tennis career as well as do academics. So that's when I decided I wanted to come to the US. And then I am currently in my third year of undergraduate program. I'm majoring in media studies with a minor in cinema and screen studies.
Okay. And you were on the tennis team at SWU, correct?
Yes, I was.
And you ended up transferring once they cut the team?
Yes.
And you're going to Radford University now, playing tennis there?
Correct.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that decision was just so random, so sudden, out of the blue. I never thought that I would have to transfer. And even so, initially, when I was applying to universities back home in India, I wanted to go and play a D1 university. But because it was COVID time, a lot of universities were cutting their programs and they were having budget issues. So, and it was a very difficult time because of the pandemic. And luckily, I got SWU, and then the coach reached out to me. And then I was like, yeah, this sounds like a nice place to go. And in my mind, I thought maybe I'll be in SWU for like 2 years or so and then maybe transfer to like a D1 because I just felt my potential would be better explored if I go to a D1. But when I came to SWU, I think I just fell in love with the place, the people, and the environment. And honestly, if they would have not cut their program, I would have just stayed there for all my 4 years. Like, I would have not decided to transfer.
Totally. Can you tell me how the decision to cut the tennis team made you feel and how it affected you?
I think I think it really affected me because it's difficult, especially for an international student, to like come to a university and then like, kind of make it your home and then just feel more belonged in a place, and especially like with the coach and then the tennis team. And for me, I think SWU was a place which just made me feel so safe and so much at home. And it was a small university, but I feel like everyone was so connected to each other, and it was like a beautiful well-knit community and you never felt out of place. So I think that's like whenever I would even talk to my parents, I would just say that, oh, it doesn't really feel like I'm away from home, it just feels like a second home. And then that is like that sense of security and safety is so much important, especially when you're international. And then you are away from your home culture, your parents, your family, but then you just find this new beautiful community of people. And I think what really was the thing that bothered me the most was going to a new place and then adjusting to a new culture, a new environment, and then a new community of people. And it takes effort to go and meet people and do things. And I think that's one of the main things I was really scared of. Like, am I, will I be able to make friends again? Will I be able to adjust in the new place? Will the coach like me? Will the team like me? And just all those questions, they just keep coming in your head.
Yeah, so kind of touching on that, how has the transition been leaving SWU and going to Radford?
I think it's been very difficult. I'm just going to be very honest. It's been difficult. It's been really eye opening for me in a lot of different aspects. As long as I was in SWU, I think tennis was what I really wanted to do. And I wanted to pursue it as my career even after college. But then because SWU decided to cut and I had to change, and I came to a D1, which was like a level up than what I was playing. And then here I felt like the tennis was very competitive. And we see different universities and girls playing so good, and the level is just amazing. I mean, honestly, it's like really nice to even watch them play and like get a sense of like how your sport is being played at like a top professional level. I think that was amazing. But it's just that kind of made me question if that is what I really want to do. And then after coming here, I realized that I enjoy my major of like media communications maybe more than I enjoy tennis. And I think definitely last semester was very difficult for me because I did not adjust well to the culture and people, because it like SWU was like a small university, like small knit, and everybody knew each other. You kind of saw the same people time and again. But here it was like a medium sized university, so you would not really see your teammates every now and then. It's only during the practice sessions you would see them. And then I think making friends was a lot more difficult here. And then I think everybody just has their own group of people. So for you to really like come and meet a new set of people and then call them your friends, just kinds of it kind of gets difficult because you don't really find your group of people the very first time you come to this place. It really takes time. And for me also, last semester I think I was just all over the place because tennis was difficult, and I just felt like there was so much expectations from everyone around me that I kind of felt like I wasn't doing well. I wasn't being up to the mark. And then I think at SWU, I loved the coach, and then he was more of a family than a coach, and he actually saw us more than like a tennis player. He like actually saw us as like a student, an international human, international student, and who's like trying to deal with everything. But then here it was just more about like performance and outcome and results, and if you're not doing that, then somehow like you're not able to give us the results, then you are not able to play. A lot of a lot of things were just based on the results rather than the process itself. So I think that was difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that not only did you have to transition to a new school because of the decision, but you also had to learn how to, it's amazing that you were able to go to a D1 school, but having to adjust to that, I assume that was really hard. Has it gotten a little better this semester though?
Yes, the semester has gotten a lot better. I think that's because our team has changed a lot. We've got a lot of new freshmen coming in, and then we got a change in our coach as well. Like our coach has changed. So now I feel this semester is so much better. Like there is so much more positivity when we practice, and then the environment is so much more uplifting compared to how it was last semester.
Good. I'm glad. So I have one more question. I was wondering if you miss SWU, because I know you said you love it here so much. I know you're starting to like it at Radford, but
Yeah.
do you miss SWU? If you were able to stay, would you have?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, that's what I told initially, that when I came to SWU and like stayed there for a semester, and then when I went back home for the summer, I was like so sure that I'm just gonna be there for like all my 4 years. Like I don't think that thought ever came to my mind that I'm gonna transfer. But then because tennis was something so special to me, and it really played a huge role in my life, and knowing that I would not be able to play that at SWU, and also knowing that I have the eligibility and like I had like 3 more years of tennis to play, at that point the best decision for me to just was to leave. And I think for everyone, it's like the whole tennis team, it's been so difficult because at one, like we were all together, a family, and then suddenly we all had to go to separate places, and now we are all just, at different universities playing for other teams. But I think that is what was kind of meant for us. Maybe this is the journey we had to go through in order to like learn more about ourselves in a way, and just like, enter into new difficult situations, but then still come out on the brighter side.
Definitely. I think it was really hard for everyone that was affected, but I do think that it did make us stronger. And even though you're not with your teammates anymore, it probably made your friendship even stronger as well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Amik. I'm so happy you're doing well now at Radford. We do miss you here down at
Yeah.
SWU, but I hope you're
I miss
enjoying
Lewis.
it. Oh, yes, Lewis misses you too. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I hope you have a great season this year.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Isabel. I'm here with Coach Robinson, the new baseball coach. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. So, you came as a new coach. What got you interested in SWU?
So the last 8 years I've been at Emmanuel College, and I actually played here at SWU for a summer back when I was playing at Georgia College. It was a good experience up here, and really enjoyed the atmosphere, the area, and everything. And then from a outside looking in perspective, I've always thought that SWU has been a great program. Have a lot of things that I feel like I want to do here for the baseball team, but always enjoyed my time coming here as a coach and as a player. So definitely interested in that side of things, as well as the Christian background of the school helps me kind of guide my players into the correct manner that I want them to act as well.
Wow. So, what do you think about the team? How's the team looking this year?
It's going to be a fun year, I believe. I think that we have some guys in there that are returners, and a lot of new guys that are in the mix. Really excited about that as we move forward. Really trying to build our brand of baseball that's on the field as well as off the field. So we're trying to do a lot of different things, implement our culture, have a better sense of organization and accountability for our team, and that comes first for us moving forward. And I think the baseball side of things will take care of itself as we move forward.
Yeah, but I noticed, because I've been here 4 years, I noticed that baseball players are always on the field. Somewhere like they're always like on different schedule. Why is that so?
Yeah. So we try to make sure that we're working our guys. Obviously, NCAA has a lot of hour limitations, and trying to make sure that we're staying within those guidelines. And so sometimes it's better to make sure we have smaller groups to get things taken care of. Our coaches do a fantastic job of making sure that they're well coached, as well as prepared for practices that day, as well as getting them prepared for games in the future.
Okay, so what is one mistake that you see that your players do again and again and again? Because we are all humans in the end of the day. So
Yeah, I think one of the things that our guys really struggle with is dealing with failure, and that's something that any athlete or any human being is something they struggle with. But baseball is kind of highlighted because you fail so much, especially as a hitter. So dealing with failure is one of the things that I feel like a lot of our guys struggle with overcoming. So it's trying to get them to understand that failure is a part of life. It's how you overcome those obstacles in your way, deal with those things that are really, really important in your life. But baseball is a great teacher of that, because hopefully you're failing a lot more in baseball than you are in real life. But I think it helps you kind of deal with those things in real life as you move forward.
yeah, I think personally for the hitter it's very tough.
Yes.
So what do you think makes a great player different from a good player?
I think dealing with that failure and how they deal with that adversity daily. So it's one of those things that if I can have one of our guys really focus on what's going on right now instead of what's happened in the past, or where they're worried about the future, then I'm going to have a lot more success with those type of players, and guys that can move on faster. Even if it's a good thing that happened to them, they can move on past it and not ride the high or ride the low. They kind of more in between and not deal with that roller coaster of emotions.
All right, thank you, Coach Robinson, for coming on the show. And now, up next, we are going to learn about new volleyball coach. And after that, we are going to hear about a day in the life of a student athlete. We'll be back after the break.
This is what winners are made of. This is what leaders are made of. This is what scholars are made of. This is what believers are made of. This is what warriors are made of.
It was great to hear from Coach Robinson. I think he'll become a vital part of the athletic department.
Speaking of new addition, this is the first year for head volleyball coach, Anna Hines. Let's head to Addie as she talks with Coach Hines.
Anna Hines grew up in Salemburg, North Carolina, where she found her love for volleyball at 8 years old. From the moment she picked up a volleyball, she knew it would forever leave an impact on her life. Hines played volleyball for 4 years at Lakewood High School in Salemburg, and then she chose to further her volleyball career at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke for 4 more years. After graduating with a science education degree with a concentration in biology in 2020, she chose to further her academics at Western Carolina University, where she obtained her master's degree in sports management. In 2020, she began her coaching career at Methodist University in Fayetteville, North Carolina as the assistant volleyball coach. After just 2 years, she accepted the head coaching position at Southern Wesleyan University in 2022.
I wanted to become a volleyball coach because I wanted to help young women become better in the sport they love as a person. And it sounds like a car salesman pitch, but it's not. I genuinely do want to help young women be better people through the sport they love. I want athletes to know they're more than their statistic, they're more than how they perform, or they're more than just being a Division II athlete, but they are a person, and that matters most. My favorite volleyball memory as a coach, I would call it a playlist. So it's like you go on YouTube and there's a playlist of stuff. I wouldn't say I have one memory. My favorite, occurrence that happens or something, situation, is when a kid finally does something good, or it clicks, or they're like, oh my gosh, I just did that. And it's the joy that they present on their face. That's my favorite memory every time I coach. You know, like whether it's like I got a good grade on something and it's just like the pure joy in an athlete's face. Like that's my favorite.
As a volleyball player, this game challenges you physically, mentally, and emotionally. That's why it's so important to have a coach that coaches you both on and off the court. Anna Hines does just that, and that's why we could not be happier to have her here at Southern Wesleyan. This has been Addison Boggs reporting for MC SWU.
Thanks so much for that, Addie. I'm here with Ashley Sexton, the setter for the volleyball team at SWU. How are you doing today, Ashley?
I'm good. How are you doing?
So I'm good. Tell us about your experience here at SWU the last 2 years.
So my experience here at SWU the last 2 years has been very pleasant. I got recruited here coming straight out of high school, and I was just so excited to be here, honestly. And the environment has been so positive, even with our seasons just not going exactly how we would like them to. I have still felt like I've been growing as a person, as a volleyball player, and just all around it's been really pleasant.
That's good. How has the transition from Coach Reiniger to Coach Hines been?
It has been sort of difficult, I will not lie. It was hard for me because I did love Coach Reiniger so much. She was a big influence in my life, and obviously she recruited me to come here, not Coach Hines. So I was scared that Coach Hines might not like me. But she's been a really tough coach, but a really amazing coach. She really knows what she's talking about. She's taught me a lot about volleyball that I didn't already know. And so that's been really amazing, just growing my volleyball game and love.
That's great, and I'm glad Coach Reiniger is still here to see you finish your career at SWU.
Absolutely.
And you guys recently just celebrated your first conference win in almost 3 years. Can you tell us how you feel about that?
I was on cloud nine, honestly. It wasn't that we couldn't win a conference game, it's that we didn't know we could, if that makes sense. We've always had the skill. Honestly, the last 3 years we've had the skill, but I feel like after we finally won that game, a weight was just lifted, and like we could breathe as a team. There was all this pressure to perform, and we finally performed. And so now it's almost like we're clearly better than the last couple of years that I've been playing here. So we might as well just get on the court and play our hardest, because we've already proven that we don't suck and that we can do whatever we put our minds to.
I watched that game, and it was really great, just seeing you guys celebrate and everything. You are also one of the statistical leaders on the team with over 200 assists so far this season. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel pretty good. Obviously, the last 2 seasons we haven't had that many, or I haven't had that many, because I only get an assist point if a hitter gets a kill. So it's kind of like my freshman season, it was kind of a COVID season, so we only played so many games. So I've already broken that record for my freshman season. And then last year I didn't even have that many. I got taken out, honestly, a lot during the games. We switched the setters a lot. There are 3 of us competing for 2 positions. So this year I've kind of kept my spot as the starting setter, thankfully, and been able to get this many assists. And we still have 10 games left, so I'm really hoping to keep pushing it. And a lot of other setters from other colleges have like 1,000 assists and like have done all this stuff. And so I'm happy with where I'm at right now, but I'm not satisfied.
Gotcha. So I know you guys had the conference win. I think you've had a couple other wins. How has the season been so far?
So far it's been going really well, but I think no matter what, we could always do better. We could definitely win some more games. We get to play Lees McRae again, and I'm really excited for that because we need to play them again. I believe as an individual and as a team as a whole, we could totally beat them and keep going up in the rankings.
Sounds like you've got some unfinished business there.
Absolutely.
I hope it goes well. Any goals for the remainder of the season and for your senior season next year?
For the remainder of the season, honestly, I would just like to not be second to last. Right now, Erskine is below us in the rankings since we beat them. And so I would obviously like to beat Erskine again, keep it that way, and then beat some other teams, you know, keep growing. And then for my senior season, same thing. I would like to start not last and continue growing. And it would be really amazing if somehow this season we could pull off playoffs, but definitely next year with another recruiting class coming in, pulling off playoffs next year.
Well, me and the rest of SWU Nation is definitely rooting for you. I hope the rest of this season goes well, and I hope next season does as well. After a short break, Cam will be interviewing student athletes about a day in their lives.
What if there's a place for you where your dreams and future collide with God's vision and direction, where thinking and doing go hand in hand with innovation, where servant leaders of the next generation are grown, and where your story can be written and change the course of history, where generosity is contagious and if you catch it, you just might change the world. This is it. Step into community, step into faith, step into life, step into Southern Wesleyan University.
On this week's show, we're asking different athletes a day in their life on a meet day or a match day. To begin, we have
Tay Walker, Jordan Blue.
and they're going to walk us through a day of a meet. To begin,
All right, so shoot, on a meet day, this is how I prepare for mine. So I'll wake up maybe like 7 o'clock, 6 or something, depending on what time the meet is. So I'll wake up, listen, get my music in, get ready for that, and then go get some breakfast. And probably chill with the teammates around here in the CAF or area or something, talking about the meet or our goals and what we're trying to accomplish. And
exciting.
Then, and then we get on the bus, just drive to our destination. And then while we're there, we warming up for each of our events, we're talking and all that. And then pretty much that's just it.
Nice.
Yeah, just get in my zone, really.
Yeah, and get ready to win.
Yeah,
right.
Get ready to win.
Nice.
Shoot, on meet day, what I do is I wake up in the morning. I thank God for waking me up. I say a little prayer. I envision what I would want to do. Then I just put my clothes on, put my everything on, and listen to music while I'm doing it. Then transition, get on the bus, say what's up to the teammates. We laugh a little bit, get on the road. Shoot, get there, warm up, and it's the show on the road. That's how we go.
Show up and show out.
Next, we have women's soccer. I'm here with Brooke, Hannah, and Fiona, and they're going to walk me through a day of their life on a match day.
Okay, so first we'll talk about this past Saturday where we lost 3-2 to Mount Olive, which is the closest we've ever been. But we woke up around, say, 8:30, and we had to be there at 9:15 to warm up for our 11 o'clock game.
Nice. So walk me through your lunch hours and the pregame meal and a little bit of the game pregame stuff.
So we typically have to wake up. We have to be there an hour and a half before, so we can't really eat for an hour and a half before a game. So we have to try and fuel before. So I'd say we woke up probably about 7. I ate some boiled egg, a piece of toast,
some protein,
and some bacon.
Nice.
To hold you over till after the game,
right?
Because it's a long day.
Yeah. Hannah, walk me through a little bit of the things y'all do post game. Maybe y'all may have team dinners. What are some things y'all done this past weekend?
This past weekend we did have pizza all together one night. I think it was after our other game, but we just do some team bonding stuff over the weekend sometimes.
Nice. And Fiona, are you enjoying the season?
I am. It's been really fun.
Awesome. Well, that's women's soccer. We have Rayvon Allen here. He's a part of the men's basketball team here at Southern Wesleyan University. And Rayvon's going to walk us through a day of a Saturday game here in Tessica Gym.
First, 8 o'clock, probably have shoot around from 8 to maybe 9:30. Shoot around, go back to the room, probably listen to music, do what you do. Pre-game meal, probably 12 o'clock, because the game not till 3 o'clock. Pre-game meal, you probably going back to take a nap. Girls' game probably started at 3 o'clock, so we're getting in the gym. They're halftime, so that's about 3:30.
Right.
Then their halftime, you go warm up, go back to the locker room, stay in the locker room, and it's almost game time.
It's game time. It's time to win.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Rayvon.
Thank you so much, Cam. Well, Isabel, I remember how tough meet days were. And given that you're not an athlete anymore, so how is your life looks like now?
Definitely trying to keep myself busy. Lots of classes, I work, but I've also kind of become the #1 fan. I go to all my friends' volleyball games, concerts, anything, just trying to support them as much as I can. What about you?
I think once you are an athlete, you're always an athlete. So no matter if you're not playing a sport, you're always along with the sport, along with other sports, you always want to play, you always want to have that competitive nature. So that's what I'm keeping up with. School is being competitive for me, and I think Dr. Lewis has been keeping me busy.
For sure. Golf will always be a part of my life.
For sure.
Well, that's all we have for today. For more from MC SWU, check out our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure to tune in next time as we discuss television.